Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. I am your host, Mr. Kurt Wooker Jr., rocking live from South Florida. We got Alex Vidal at the turntable doing the producer thing. So everything that goes right or wrong with the show, he deserves all the credit for, unless it is literally me talking. I'll take responsibility for that. But no, so I just wanted to give a shout out. If you are not following Alex Vidal at Costly Signals on X, he hosts his own Spaces on X every Friday with Mr. Zach Wins, who is another actually former South Floridian. He went and moved himself up near the wild side of Florida, as I like to call it. Gatorville, I think, is the town. So, Zach, we miss you, buddy, but we do get to hear his lovely voice along with Alex Vidal on Fridays. So please subscribe, hit all that. And if you're watching the show now, if you're watching us, please like, subscribe, hit the alert bell so you know every single time we go live. Normally, I thank the Champions TCG people for donating. They take our comments of the week. They give a pack of cards out. It's really nice. We all sort of digitally shake hands. And wouldn't you know it, we decided to have them on as the guest this week. So I'm going to talk a little bit less about them during the intro and quite a bit more about them during the live fun segment of the show. So please stay tuned for that. Subscribe to all their stuff. It'll be link in the description, link in the bio. I don't even know how the internet works at this point anymore. So if you are watching, thank you. You are watching me have an absolute nervous breakdown in real time, everybody, as I try to figure out who I am and what it is I do here. Just kidding. If you are watching, no, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. I'm fine. I'm kidding. So don't get too worried, everybody. But we are indeed rocking and rolling. I posted sort of a sobering article today. If you check my pinned tweet, the last few weeks, I've been trying to talk a little more broadly about the blockchain economy. And this time around, it was quite a bit more focused on what a nightmare the world is becoming. So I talk a little bit about like the Great Recession and the potential for World War III and some of the ways that we can try to survive that. So by being shrewd. So it's not my typical political Bitcoin advocacy sound. It's a little more like, hey, if we got to survive nightmare scenarios, here's what that looks like a little bit. So we can go ahead and check that out. What's up, Joey Two Guns? One of my most loyal viewers and listeners. Also quite a good guy. Also a Floridian. So everybody, again, please share this across social media. Let them know we are live. If you have questions for myself or the Champions team, they're going to be on here in about 2 or 3 minutes, and it's going to be a good time. And also, if you want to talk about some of the other asymmetric nonsense going on in the universe, we are living in unprecedented times. We have heard, oh my goodness, Mr. Guy from Minnesota might be our next vice president. Isn't that really exciting information? We are being told to be excited. So please clap, I guess, if you're one of those people. I'm still of the opinion that it doesn't matter which puppet is sitting on the hands of the people that control the universe. But I don't know, man. People are cheering more and more for this whole politics thing. No matter how many times I tell them you can just withdraw your consent, but nobody wants to hear that. So again, please like, subscribe, hit the alert bell. Also, the commenter of the day will still get a Champions TCG card pack. We're going to have a meme of the week. So please do the questions, comments, blessings, cursings, gripes, or gropes. Please fill the troll box. The fun stuff. I would tend towards something funny. If it's really, really insightful, I'd be inclined to make that the comment of the day. But I tend toward funny, so my goal typically is, or your goal rather, to impress me would probably be to be funny. So that's my investment advice here. Put the ticker, like send Kurt warnings from regulators, basically. All right, so let's thank our sponsors. This week, of course, we have Rock Wallet, which is sponsoring us this season, I think for the whole season here, and a few others, but I think we actually have an ad for Rock Wallet. We'll cut to them, and then we will be back with the team from Champions TCG. We'll be right back. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, how you doing, Kurt?
What's
Good,
up,
good,
Kurt?
good. All right. So for those who don't know, we got Brett and Miles. Brett is a perennial guest on this show, representing all kinds of people, things, ideas, wardrobes. He's an advocate for many things. And then Miles, I think this is your second appearance here, but it's been every time I'm like, I don't know, what's it been 3 months? And I'll be like, holy crap, it's been over a year or whatever. So, but time isn't real unless you measure it. But so how's everybody doing? You guys seem to be like blowing up, both your business, but also the industry you decided to be in. So good timing all around. But how are things? Give me the quick lowdown, and then we'll drill into some of the details here.
Yeah, going great. Thank you so much for having us on the show. Excited to be here. Excited to announce what's been going on with Champions. We got Gen 5 that just launched, so it's Elemental Warfare.
Nice.
Just came out on August 1st, and wanted to walk you through a little bit about not just what's going on right now, but also in the future with Champions as well.
Yeah, let's get into the details. I play a little bit. I just had a baby. Baby is approaching a month old, so I have like exactly this much time to myself for having any fun. but I had been playing, and I am a fan of the game, even though I'm just like not typically a gamer anyways. But like I actually got into it and was like, oh, now I get it. So you guys are killing it on the gaming front. But yeah, let's talk about like what's new. Why does this matter? Who are we competing against?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, no, we're about a year in now. Yeah, we just launched, our 5th set. We've been running, haven't missed a day running tournaments, the last 365 days. They're all free to enter. We've given away, 75 grand worth of tournament prizes. We've got 2 million plus, assets on chain that people are trading, tons of secondary volume. And then, recently, the card industry kind of, has been on fire, so to say, with all this cat scanning of sealed boxes and things like that. And I mean, it's just, we're at the right place in the right time. We have solutions for that kind of stuff.
So that has been a big controversy. Somebody sent me that, I think it was yesterday. They're like, hey, get into the cat scanning thing. And I watched it. I was like, oh my God. So what people are doing is, if you're a store owner, basically you get your packs in, you use a cat scan device and say, hey, here's a rare card. I'm going to take that rare card and I'm going to resell packs of, duds and your commons to the poors who walk into the store, unfortunately. So let's talk about maybe what else I might not know about that as a concept in the industry, but how are you guys mitigating that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it just became like a thing for retail where like there's these websites that just popped up where they're just charging, like $25 to $50 to like scan a pack. You can scan sealed boxes and they can give you a report of exactly what's inside that box. I mean, it's some of these Pokemon, like, 1999 first edition sealed boxes before all of this drama are selling for 250 grand a pop. So, you could buy one of those, scan it, and then decide whether you want to open that box or not.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah, no. Well, and I mean, my basic understanding is like, well, you have provenance of every card that's issued and all these other things. So there is no cheater gets it first kind of opportunity here, given that it's a blockchain asset. But is this something that when you go like market wide and pitch like, hey, by the way, like all cards are fairly distributed and that kind of thing? I mean, I'm being largely ignorant to the industry. How big is that? Your gamers versus your collectors, which I know is also a controversial. You get the guys that just treat it like finance, and that ticks off the gamers because they're like, hey man, I actually just want to play with these cards. So how are you guys fighting that antagonism there?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of leaned into the competitive side. Like we have, a lot of players that are actually playing with these cards. We do have, big collectors and things. But yeah, you get into things like Pokemon, the players versus the collectors. Yeah, the collectors, are 1,000, 10,000x bigger than the people that are actually playing it. So, the collectability side of all of this is is a huge deal. And yeah, you know, we've kind of been working on getting into physical stores and things like that over the last 3 to 6 months. And then this kind of happened, and we're like, okay, like we have a solution, yeah, for Pokemon, for Magic, to sell these, you know, kind of like gift cards in stores. Players go home, redeem the codes digitally, and then you know, all, like you mentioned, Bitcoin allows for all of that to be provably fair, distributed, all of that kind of stuff. And then, you know, there's a way for players to burn the digital version and get shipped, you know, a serialized version of the cards that they want physical versions of. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and just beyond just Champions TCG itself, you know, just high level looking at what blockchain enables a business to do to reach a market in a different way. I think it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable. You know, I call ourselves digital manufacturers. You know, that concept is a little bit you know, like foreign to people, but it is the manufacturing of digital product. And it doesn't exist. We're hitting the market in a brand new way. And we just so happened to, and this was all Miles's brainchild. You know, he brought this idea to me. I personally loved it. 30 years in the trading card industry. But what's ironic is that, you know, some of the competitors that we're facing, you know, Magic the Gathering, Marvel, Disney, you know, these are some really well-known, you know, companies. And
yeah,
they're selling
startups whose names we've never heard of.
Yeah. They're just some run-of-the-mill companies. You know, they're selling trading card games that you actually can't trade the cards. When Miles and I were walking into the shops to do some market research, we didn't even have to present our value proposition. The customers were coming to us and telling us how furious they were that they have these digital cards that they can't trade. They can't pass them down to their children. They can't do a number of things. And blockchain just comes in and it completely reshapes that industry. I use the example of maybe like the introduction of sound to a movie. You know, there was a time when movies didn't include sound, and then technology allowed that, and the industry never went back. Or look at, you know, Blockbuster with the distribution of VHSs compared to the innovation of streaming technology with Netflix. So what we're ripe to do because of blockchain is and what we can actually do is profit share with these facilitators of the, you know, of our local game stores, because we have such an instant distribution channel with blockchain that we can afford to say, okay, well, you're our sales channel. Here's how we want to make this worth your while. And it's just good old fashioned capitalism at that point.
Well, and what just occurred to me as I'm sitting here listening to this, I realized that doing this completely digitally actually solves the problem of your collectors versus gamers, that you're not going to devalue your cards by playing with them if you're playing with them digitally. So my 5-year-old has recently gotten into Pokemon, and I don't even know how it happened. Like all of a sudden he just like had a card on him that one of the kids in the neighborhood like gave him some comment. He was like, oh my God, I love this thing. And I was like, wow, I'm honestly a little shocked these exist. I was not really a card person as a kid, but my wife was. So then my wife busts out the the album of all of her cards, and you know, so it's like now all of a sudden my family's got a bunch of cards they're playing around with. It was like, oh wow, this is actually such a blast from it. Like I thought this was a when I was a little kid thing, and now I'm 38 years old and I've got a house full of game cards that people are playing with again. So yeah, no, it really is incredible to be able to play these games. Now, you've mentioned, I don't know, 5 or 6 of the biggest brands in the world already. We're 15 minutes into the show. What are ways that you guys can help those other brands? Because I mean, in some ways, you're a competitor with a competing game and your own product, but is there a way for you to be the provider of this technology to some of these bigger brands? I imagine this is a conversation you're having internally.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's our infrastructure. Like it's basically plug and play. Like we can work with Magic, we can work with, you know, which is owned by Hasbro. Hearthstone's the biggest digital card game that's owned by Blizzard. And pretty much like, you know, they can deliver us artwork and we can distribute the cards the same way that we're currently doing it. We have like innovative, like our crafting feature where these can be broken down. Yeah, you mentioned like, you know, the digital cards don't get devalued. It actually, by doing it on Bitcoin, I mean, it actually can add value. You know, these cards can have data attached to them. So these cards that, you know, win tournaments or are used by these certain players, all of that data can be attached to those cards and enhance the value. And
someone needs to hook you guys up with Scottie Pippen, because he has had about the most cringe 2 weeks on social media. Obviously, somebody has shown him the power of NFTs, and he's trying to market his balls on the internet. And honestly, like just the absolute worst way I've ever seen. But conceptually, this is actually the same thing. It's like the ball that he's, or these are going to make for really good short reels later, but the balls that he's marketing are valuable because they were game balls, right? And so same thing here. When you get tournament cards, a tournament card should be worth more, even if they're the same card. They're worth more if they win a tournament. So it's just like any other piece of sports memorabilia. Is that currently being tracked, or is that something you'd have to build a module for in the future to track back, basically your back to Genesis tournament problem?
No, it's currently being tracked. I don't think it's being put on chain currently, but it's something that we've been working on like since the beginning. We knew this was a valuable aspect of what we're doing. So all of that data is being collected, but it's just, you know, getting it on chain. And, you know, we are on multiple different blockchains. So it's, you know, just figuring out how best to do that.
So that's a question I've been wondering, because I'm, you know, this BSV. I'm actually not a BSV maximalist, but it's the only one that I'm actually using to play around with. But I know you're on a few blockchains. I'm curious, are the cards on BSV, like if I wanted to play on Solana or something, are they mirrored? Can I like import my cards over here, or are they separate or semi-separate ecosystems?
No, I mean, they can all be imported, exported directly. So you can take your cards off of BSV, export them over to IMX. We're not currently on Solana. It's Bitcoin, Doge, Immutable X, and then BSV. And, you know, I mean, you're not a BSV at Maximus. I definitely would consider myself one. And it's more of like, you know, we want to put our cards on these chains and let BSV speak for itself. You know, the IMX marketplaces and all of that, I mean, I would say a subpar experience to what you're getting on BSV and things like that. And, you know, we all know, you know, everyone watching, I'm sure knows.
I guess I should clarify. So this whole episode is going to be all kinds of clips of look what Kurt said. But all that to say, like in maximalism, I'm very happy to try like Ordinal's wallet or OpenSea or jump over to Magic Eden, like mostly because I just want to keep myself in the, if I'm going to be advocating for BSV, being like, look, it's the best blockchain. What I don't want is somebody to be like, bro, have you used this other thing? Because it's better in all these ways. So I make a point of, all right, trade a little bit over here and then play this game. And then, you know, like just to keep myself honest. So yes.
That's the advantage of being, you know, the best tech, is that we don't have to defend it like it's our personal, you know, art project or something like that. If something can provide better utility, better experience for the end users, you know, we shouldn't have any sacred cows. And you know, that's the advantage of being, you know, the most scalable chain, is that you get to invite other chains and say, hey, try and compete with this, you know, and if you can provide a better experience, you can be infrastructure for us, you know, So, you know, it's nice for me to see this, because I'm someone that really came up and learned about a lot of this, you know, from your shows, Kurt, you know, going past the past, you know, half a decade plus, and, you know, seeing champions really be a proof of concept that's saying, okay, you know, we even joke that JPEGs were kind of the first, you know, really kind of viral asset that the blockchain supported. Well, trading cards are the original JPEGs. You know, they just were printed on cardboard back in the 90s. So, you know, you're seeing your kids go through that process still. You know, it's a rite of passage, and it teaches us about valuing things. It teaches us about sharing, being cooperative, having an agenda for how to improve our own collection, while also not trying to take advantage of others. You know, it's an excellent tool for teaching children these you know, techniques.
Well, and it's interesting that it shows us that there's something fundamental about the human experience where we just want to have these trinkets. It's like objectively, it's a card worth a penny or two, right? But something about it, even two in a game, like they're both like they're not foil, they're not whatever, and it's like this character is awesome, so it's worth all this much more, like both in some weird intrinsic value to you as a person, but then that translated out to dollars or bitcoins or whatever else. And like humans are so weird like that that something can have 1,000 times more value, even though they may have appeared on the same press sheet, right next to each other. They're made of the same material. They might have even been cut out of the same tree when they were turned into paper initially. But that's a case study right there, man. Humans and whatever it is that gives us the anxiety to decide something is that much more valuable. It's fascinating.
I mean, just look at soccer, or as our European friends call it, football. I mean, it's just a ball. It's just an inflated ball, but it can teach us so much about our cooperative capacities, and our striving. Trading cards are the exact same way. Something emerges out of our collective fascination with something as simple as a ball that teaches us and delivers us to something that is greater than any of us can imagine individually. And what we're seeing with Champions TCG is just the introduction of blockchain as the mechanism and the tool for keeping track of the collections of all of these distributed assets. Of course, the game could go out of business and it doesn't reduce your collection to, ashes, to smoldering pile of heat.
might make it more valuable.
Exactly, because someone else can spin up a client that you can take your assets over there and to play with that, those. So it's the next phase of digital competition. It's never existed before. We're seeing Champions as a proof of concept, but it's really the tip of the iceberg.
So, it's funny. I've spent 5 or 6 years, since 2016 now. So what is that? 8 years? God, good grief. Broadcasting about Bitcoin and blockchain tech. And my consistent message has been like, go out and get a customer, because almost nobody does that, which is admittedly a skill set that not a lot of people have, especially when you're talking about tech nerds. Like tech nerds want to solve problems with tech. They're not typically like, hey, I'm a really good salesman, so I'm going to get into software development and stuff. But you guys have been one of the very rare cases of, you mentioned, hey, we were doing some market research and we're getting into stores and all these things. Can you talk just a little bit, don't give away your secret sauce or anything here, but what has your process for business development been? And do you have a piece of advice for other people that have good ideas that, hey, you might be sitting on a multi-million-dollar business if you just pick up the phone or go shake a hand? Like, what's your experience been like? And what would you tell somebody that's been nervous to get out of the office and go try to dig a client out?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing, like a lot of ideas can sound good in your head, but like they might not be good ideas if you don't have any customers. So it's like a lot of people, I've been in BSV since day one. A lot of products build these great things, but they don't have any customers. So is it really a good idea? You can all talk, having some beers about how it's such a great idea, but it's like the proof is in the pudding. Like you've got customers or people that are willing to spend on this thing, or you don't. And if you don't, then it's not solving like a real world problem. So that's kind of been our biggest thing here is, trading cards are a great way to showcase like the power of blockchain, because, you mentioned NFTs. Like NFTs don't showcase the value and the power of blockchain. They're these high value things, the fees don't really matter. But when you get into trading cards that are 1 and 2 cents, like it clicks in your brain of why this matters and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, I would just, say, you have to get out there before you get too deep and spend too much resources to develop out your product. Like, just make sure that, it just doesn't sound good in your head and you're solving like a real problem, and the change shouldn't matter. A lot of people scream and yell, oh, BSV this, BSV that. But if the product's good enough, like they don't care about BSV. We're getting gamers, people that don't care about the blockchain and all of that. They just want to trade their cards. They're willing to do it, however that can be facilitated. And like, that's been our biggest thing. And we've onboard, we have about 40,000 signups on our for our product. A lot of these
Awesome.
people have no idea, never have even heard of BSV. Obviously, we have some crypto people, but yeah, it's not about BSV. Like BSV shouldn't have to be included in your pitch at all about why your product is relevant. It's just using a blockchain that scales, and that happens to be BSV.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, 40,000 is some kind of exponential multiple of of how many even theoretical like BSV people. There's probably, I don't know, 1,000 of us that have more than one BSV wallet, actually care about the tech, or can tell you thing one about why there's a BSV blockchain. So that's incredible. 40,000 people means like 99% of your users are not BSV people.
Yeah.
So congrats on that.
And maybe I'll walk you through a little bit about our strategy. So we put these digital trading card out on chain. So they have like a rarity. The border is the rarity, whether it's gold, silver, or gray. That tells you if it's a common, or we even have a diamond now that's a light blue. Gold is rare. Our mana costs up in the top right, our health or hit points in the bottom right, and then the attack power on the bottom left. Another piece of advice that I'd give to new entrepreneurs is just ship it. Just ship your product and iterate on it as you go, because you learn so much data. We're watching, this is our lobby, so you can spectate a game. I mean, these are two people that don't know each other. They're just playing one of our games, against each other, competing for prizes, etc. Ship your product and then get feedback. Take it, make it a religious experience to get your customers' feedback. Take it to heart. And, you have to really be outside of your ego with this stuff, because at the end of the day, you're not building a product for yourself. You're building a product for an audience out there. And the nice part, blockchain gives us this distributed mechanism to form consensus. Well, at the same time, the market is the best consensus mechanism. It will tell you what is valuable about your product and what you need to work on. So, but you can't know that if your product is sitting still on a pitch deck somewhere. You need to get your product out there and start to learn. I can't tell you how many phases of growth our game has been in since we first launched, including the game itself. When we first launched, there wasn't even a game that went along with our cards. People bought on the opportunity that there would be a game that came with it, and that's one of the beautiful things about this community, BSV especially, but other communities as well. They will give you a chance to earn a strike against them, and if they'll give you the benefit of the doubt a lot of times. So don't take advantage of that. Use that for what it can do to propel your product forward. Our product is available on the Handcash marketplace right now, so you can go. That's the other piece of advice is ally with people who are innovative and who see the vision. You don't want to have these long, drawn out calls explaining why there's a value to blockchain at all, right? You want to find and align with people who already get it and who can help you take it to the next level. And then don't be afraid to step out there. We run these tournaments. This is our weekly event that's starting today at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We put these special rare cards out there for players to earn. Make sure you're giving back to the community. And then, in addition to Handcash, we've also partnered with Omniscape. Omniscape allows us to do this really unique, innovative things where we're putting content into physical locations as geolocated starter packs at game shops. You can go to your game shops, you can find our content for free. This is an example of someone just walking up to one of our local game stores, and they can see digitally GPS coordinated free starter packs at our local game stores. That's an example of one of our free packs right there. That's an example of one of our posters on the window at that local game shop. And so be bold. We see this technology as being the plumbing, BSV and blockchain as the plumbing to allow users to buy digital content at these physical locations the exact same way that V-Bucks or Roblox are being purchased right now. And we want to arm these stores with a sales booklet. So we're not just dropping them off content and saying, hey, sell these for us, but we're saying, hey, here's a 12-page beautifully illustrated booklet that is showing what is this technology capable of, why does it translate to revenue for you, and we can build an army that way that wants to sell our product because they're financially and economically incentivized to do that. And then if we can stay true to our values as a game and gather our customer feedback, then this absolutely scales up.
Yeah. I mean, the stores don't care about BSV or whatever. You walk in and you tell them like, hey, you can make 50% profit margins on selling this product. Like, they don't care how we do it or whatever. They just want to get paid their 50%. So it's just like business. Like if BSV and blockchain and all of that stuff is like in your sales, talking to these real customers, like you just lose them. Like you just walk in, they just want to hear about money and these different things. And I mean, that's really what we lean into. Like we have made a very strong effort to not mention wallets and blockchain, all of those kind of things, like in everything that we've been doing over the last year.
You're muted there, Kurt. All right. Had your audio drop off, unless it's just me.
Nope. Am I back?
Got
My microphone bugs out if it's it doesn't matter. How many stores are you guys in? It looks like I saw the GameStop comment go by. Are we
so our starter packs are available at 3,000 different GameStops right now. I mean, you can walk up, they're replenished every day. You can just go up and grab like a starter pack. I mean, the product itself, like you can't go, Brett kind of showed those gift cards, which is like our next phase in all of this. But yeah, we partnered with Omniscape and we have, just
nice
AR starter packs available at 3,000 plus GameStops right now.
Are they physical cards too, or is it all digital?
Yeah, I mean, all digital. Brett pulled up the gift cards, so it's actually going to be a physical item. So, when talking to all of these stores, our initial pitch was like, hang these up, visit our site, and then, they're putting their credit cards and stuff in on our site, and then their revenue would be split with them that way. That just doesn't work. It's too new of a concept. Yeah. So we have just ordered 10,000 physical cards. We've got our own barcode, so they just scan these cards through their point of sale and everything. So nothing changes for these stores. It's just exactly like if they were selling a Magic the Gathering pack. The only difference is the player goes home, enters the code, scratches off the back, enters the code, and then their account's credited with these packs. But yeah, I mean, all of the wholesale is already done at the store.
Yeah, incredible. And then the other key innovation here is the secondary market. You can take these digital items that you're earning as rewards or that you're opening as digital cards in your packs. First of all, you don't have to open the packs. You can keep them sealed, just like you can do with physical packs. You can trade them later or sell them later. But then the gamers are really putting tons of time into unlocking these unique novelties, these unique cosmetics, etc. But when they're completely locked onto their account, it's really giving them a disservice because now they can't get out. They can't exit from this hobby that they have, right? Whereas blockchain gives them this mechanism and this tool to put all that time in to unlock the items, but they don't have to find some convoluted path to selling their account on eBay in order to, make it worth their while. They can actually just sell some of the items that they don't actually care about. I mean, this is how traditional markets work, but the problem is that the technology hasn't been able to had the capacity to support this from a digital manufacturing standpoint until today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
And the other thing for these stores, so not only can they make, they make these big margins, which our item will become the biggest margin item in their whole store. So they're incentivized to get their staff to like, hey, sell this product.
Yeah, push
so
this, guys.
The product has to be good enough to where, they don't want to sell their customers like a subpar experience. But the other thing that makes their eyes light up is traditionally you buy a magic pack, that's the last time the store earns on that pack. With ours, every card that player opens in those packs is attributed to that store. So we've had cards sell for $7,000 and we're kicking back royalties to that store. So that these cards, get sold 5-10 times over 10 years. The store's just accruing royalty revenue off of all of these. So, and a lot of these stores are, they're on the way out. Like it's a dying thing is these game stores. They're not making millions of dollars. They're just they're card gamers themselves, the store owners, and they're kind of, a lot of them are supporting it themselves. So this is like an innovation that can help them stick around and kind of transition to where it's not just Champions that's selling things this way. It's every product in their store is doing things like this.
Are they being paid out those royalties on chain too? Is it a token, or are you managing that like banking and credit? Like how, like, can you walk me through the mechanism a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where the royalties are coming from. We are just they don't want to deal with wallets and all of that kind of stuff. So, it's just like a report that's printed out, shows where these various cards were sold, and then, it's a PayPal transaction to these stores. Yeah.
Well, that's badass. So they can be old timers and they can get that extra revenue. What if it was someone like me and I wanted can I get commissions in BSV or something?
Yeah. No, I mean, so, kind of our big thing here is stores are just affiliates. So anyone can be an affiliate. We can partner with streamers and things like that, and they get these same commissions. They can sell packs, get the 50% split. They can get all of the royalties. Yeah, we can, build it out to every customer. Yep.
Oh man, you guys have kicked so much ass since the last time we spoke. I remember this was all like, this is all coming soon. I'm like, man, I hope so. So no, this is very cool. I'm genuinely excited because I do nothing but hang out with startup people, and I don't know what the failure rate is, 95% failure rate, where it's like, cool pitch deck, raise some money, product never came out. But you guys are killing it.
James Marchant, the chief investment officer for Enchain, I saw him post something where he said, 99% of being a startup is just keep going. If you can just keep going, just push, that is the key innovation there. And, we couldn't agree more with the philosophy there. It's just about, first of all, having a vision. My father used to say a business is a band of brothers pulling in the same direction. You want to align yourself with people who get it, and then just push, fight like hell to get to the next stage. And really it's about delivering for your customer.
Yeah. That's such good advice, that staying power. Because I think it's something like, every small business owner or whatever, it takes 5 years before you ever make your first profitable dollar, that kind of thing. But so in a lot of ways, even if it's a good business idea, you just have to, hey, we're just going to have a lot of churn. We gotta tighten our belts. And, maybe in a decade, all of a sudden we're a very successful company, but it's not just going to be an overnight thing. And most people just don't have that staying power at all for either, reasons that are not their fault or in many times reasons that are. But no, it's really awesome to see you guys really succeeding here. I'm curious, is your company, like from a pure business standpoint, are you guys like private, all equities with private people? Is it going to stay private, that kind of thing? Or are you looking to sell some equity, get some venture partners? Do you want there to be a Champions IPO in 7 years, or like where is this going from a business standpoint for you guys?
Yeah, all private. We've used a lot of funds, like setting all of this up with attorneys and all of the stuff, so we could get to the point where there is fundraising. I'm kind of like anti venture capital and stuff.
Same,
we have a lot of flexibility to do things like when we don't have those partners. But in this case, we're competing against multi-billion-dollar businesses. The things that are happening in the industry with this, it needs a solution now. I mean, it's a lot of gasoline. So we do have a pitch deck. We are shopping around. It's more so of luckily, we don't need it now. It's not like, oh my God, we're going to die if we don't get this. So it's just, you know, picking the right partner and finding someone, but there's definitely some damage we can do. And I think, you know, the whole team's on board with like, that's how we really take it to the next level. We have the product's been completely built out to this. It's not like raising money when we don't have anything to show for it. We got 500,000 plus in total revenue to date. It's a legitimate business at this point. And it's more just like, how do we get eyes on it? And a lot of that's just like these marketing and brand awareness stuff that we definitely could benefit from partnering with certain people.
Yeah. Well, it's a really good position for you guys to be in, because, you know, if you got a really good pitch deck, you're looking to give away, you know, 25% of your company. But when you've got $500,000 in revenue, it's like, all right, boys, like, here's how much you're going to give me for 4% of my company. So it's really good, man. I'm really happy for you guys. Proud to know you, and glad I knew you when you were still, just the cool kids with a good idea. So
yeah, I mean, there's still a long way to go. I mean, you know, we're just getting started, but yeah, we're in a great and exciting position, just, you know, for the trading card industry, but like for blockchain as well. I mean, just overall blockchain technology. It's a good spot.
That's awesome. So what's next? I mean, what does the next 6 months look for you guys? Is it a, 10x move, like customer acquisition, or are you just trying to like slow wins, or I mean, how much secret sauce do you have going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, it's, definitely always slow wins, like immediately. Like, I think we're averaging 50 to 100 new signups a day, like over the last 30 days. So, awesome. It's a lot of that. That's always just the great way to grow. But, we still are also in just the crypto industry, and with all the crap going on in crypto, like no NFT, we still get grouped in as an NFT and all of that. So the crypto money, like that's not the direction to get the attention of Hasbro and stuff. So the next 6 months is really like leaning into this physical stores. Like these are people that don't care about crypto. They're visiting there. So that's our next 3 to 6 months, is getting these gift cards in stores, acquiring data from, just how the product is moving within these stores, and you just blowing it up to general gamers, rather than just the crypto people.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's a real client base. Like they're not going to disappear when, Bitcoin has a 25% pullback, in a day. So awesome. So it looks like we got close to 10 questions from the audience here, and only about 17 minutes left in the show. So Mr. Vidal, if we could start putting up, I basically just asked Nikki's question here. Any large prize pool tournaments, though? Is that a growing part of the strategy here, or what does that look like?
So I mean, we obviously run and shout out Nikki. Nikki's an OG. He was there playing with us Gen 1, streaming. Like he's one of the guys that spent a lot of time at the beginning of the project. But yeah, we run daily tournaments every day. We give away, between $75 and $500 prizes every weekend. There's a $500 tournament, and just I guess 2 months ago now, we've started this pro circuit. So players acquire pro points for placing better in these other tournaments, and every 3 months we have a $2,500 tournament, and all of that will like come to a conclusion with like a major $10,000 tournament at the end of the three majors. But yeah, no, I mean, tournaments, all of that definitely in the roadmap. That's a great way to attract gamers from not only Hearthstone and these Web 2 games, but also Web 3 tournament prize pools.
Here's one from Q Flux 888, number 15 out of hundreds of games on Immutable right now, 2 by market volume. What is Immutable? Is that a blockchain thing, or? So
Immutable X is blockchain that reached out to us. It's basically like the biggest gaming blockchain.
Oh,
I mean,
gotcha.
It's like Immutable, Ronin. There's a couple others.
Oh, that's IMX. Is that
IMX,
the ticker?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't know it was called Immutable.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, they branded themselves as the blockchain for gamers and stuff. Sure. So this is where all of these other Web3 games are launching their products and stuff. And yeah, we launched on there just about might have been 2 months ago now, a month and a half. Okay. But yeah, we're slowly climbing up the leaderboard, just all organically. Nice. Most of these people we're competing with they've all got the funding. I mean, the other two big TCGs that are in Web3, Parallel is one of them. They've raised $500 million. Gods Unchained's raised a couple $100 million, and we've raised zero, and we have about, half the player base that they currently have. And, we just do things a little different over here. We're the first trading card game to ever ship sealed product. Where you can trade these packs, the rest of them just auto open cards. And that's kind of the only aspect of blockchain is just these individual cards, whereas we have all of this other stuff. And, we like to stay away from tokens, who needs a token? These people want to get paid out in USD or at least like a native blockchain asset. But we have quite a bit of differentiators from these other immutable games.
Incredible. Very, very cool. Nikki saying God's Unchained is trash. No comment. Joey asking, will there be a cross-chain tournament like the best of this chain versus best of another? That's an interesting, do some kind of a shootout.
No, I mean, it's all cross-chain. So you can have 5 cards on Dogecoin. You can have 5 cards on BTC, and you're just building your deck with cards from any chain. So it's not like there's BSV players and there's immutable players. A lot of them are just shopping of I can get this card for 20 cents on hand cash and it's 16 over on IMX. So they'll have cards, and you can connect up to 7 or 8 wallets to our game, and there's not really a way to do a cross-chain tournament. It's all just cross-chain.
It's inherent. Love it. All right, Mr. Vidal, what else do we got here? He says, unfortunately, I've been doing more collecting than playing lately, but the playing is fun when I get to. And I guess it's the thing, too. You get these guys that the gamer part is the exciting part, in my opinion, because it's like the fundamentals. But you also get the opportunity to have people that can just be a trading mogul, too, right? So do you keep data on, has anybody just had a big bonkers sale of a card? Who's making money just being a speculator here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had one of our one-of-one cards sell for $7,000. We definitely have all the data on the accounts that are playing versus the accounts that are just collecting. But I mean, there's 250,000 plus in secondary market revenue that our players have made selling these different cards and things like that. And I mean, it's also part of our pitch deck. There is the first slide of the problem is Sotheby's doesn't sell Fortnite skins yet. Soon that will be the case. It's not, our game isn't about trading card games. It's about gaming assets just being on chain. So Fortnite does $2 to $4 billion a year in aesthetic sales or cosmetics and stuff. And currently there's no market or tradability for it. We think they can make a couple $100 million more a year by utilizing the blockchain, allow some of these skins to be traded for pennies. Obviously some will be sold for thousands and things like that, but it's a lot bigger than a card game here. It's just gaming assets in general, utilizing the blockchain is going to Epic Games owns, Fortnite. It's hundreds of millions of dollars that they're currently is untapped. And with things like Pokemon, where the collectors market is just massively bigger. I think the overall collectibles market last year was 450 billion. And then the gaming market, the skin sales and things like that are about 50. So it's combining these two, you're unlocking a ton of new customers by putting these assets on chains. People that don't even play Fortnite, I'll buy some Fortnite skins if I can trade them and sell them and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then one of our consulting partners and equity holders is a guy named Dan Bach, probably the most well-known name in trading card industry. And, he had ran a company called power9.com, which specialized around, high-end Magic the Gathering product, eventually sold that out to eBay and started to work with company called TCGplayer.com. One of the things he mentioned to us in our very first call was he just said, a lot of these stores, they're really, salty, for lack of a better word, about the fact that, in the early 90s, they educated this entire public about this new product, this new game. And now they're getting sort of, they're being gone around by the direct to consumer. They're no longer valuable in the pipeline for the customer acquisition process. And they were telling us sometimes these stores that really built the customer base for this product, it's easier for them to get their product from Amazon than it is from their own distributors. Whereas, this new model involving blockchain, it allows us to give them an ongoing reward through those royalties, so that the time they put in 20 years ago can actually still be paying them dividends.
That's fascinating. Well, and for me, so I've always been into other collectibles. So I like coins and that kind of thing. I've always had like little pieces of silver and rare coins. My dad got me into like Hot Wheels and those kind of things. But I like little trinkets. I'm not like watches and stuff too. Like I'm always like, oh, that's a cool thing, So I'm like a crow with a little box of nonsense under the bed a little bit. But I'm wondering if this concept can be translated out to some of these other things. Like I'm thinking about like the local pawn shop, which 20 years ago was a much more powerful business, and now because of like eBay, and even eBay feels like an old company in this space now. Like, is there a way to reinvigorate that sort of secondary, like used market? Hey, antiques are cool, or is it one of those things that doesn't work because there must still be a physical exchange of the item here?
I mean, yeah, I don't have any like specific examples off the top of my head of like, I mean, obviously there's ways you can like tokenize those different things, but I would say like for pawn shops, by like, utilizing blockchain, like it opens up a whole new avenue of collectibles that they can sell. They can do it all online. Like, you could sell your Fortnite skin to the pawn shop and it's transferred right there. They just have a whole collection of digital assets that are now under their portfolio.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. So, well, and I guess the other thing for me is, I think about like metaverse, and I think this has been poked at a little bit, where your avatar can have like is wearing a brand name shirt, but it is only a digital item, so it's like Gucci putting out cool sunglasses or whatever for your digital character. Like that's the kind of thing that maybe you could trade. But no, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, and the state of California just issued all 42 million title records for vehicles on blockchain.
I heard this,
yeah. So I mean, even if it's just the receipts and the transfer titles of these physical assets, like a Rolex or something, to the pawn shop, you're getting a digital receipt saying that item belongs to you, etc. There's a lot of room for that as well.
Awesome. All right, well, we've got like 6 minutes left here in the show. Is there anything you wish I covered, or anything you want to leave anybody with? Because we got to do a couple things. We got the meme of the week coming up, and a couple other things before we wrap. So is there anything you definitely want the world to know before we let you go?
Yeah, maybe I got a question for Miles. So Miles, in the next 1,000, 2,000 years, how many chances or times do you think we're going to have this opportunity to reinvent and recreate money?
Yeah, I mean, you're just putting my speculating hat on, but like money's been around thousands of years and it's failed every single time. I mean, there's one time, there's going to be one opportunity. I think it's going to be in our lifetimes where, a money system that actually works and can hold out for the longevity happens. And, I think, Bitcoin potentially is that money. When we move to Mars or whatever, you could have your son, wife on Mars. You can transfer them money instantly. It's this, it's going to happen once, and it's just going to be a long ride to the moon, as they say, once that happens. But yeah, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for money to change. And I think, with all the stuff going on in the last couple weeks and the stock market's having a tough time right now, it might be soon. But I've been thinking it might be soon since day one of BSV in 2018. So
toss him up a softball there.
Well, Cool, man. Well, both of you guys, you're both welcome back anytime, both on the show, or if you want to come take a vacation to Florida, we'll put you up. We'll hang out. I would love to spend more time with both of you guys. So please don't be strangers. To anybody watching, please check out Champions TCG and follow these fine gentlemen across social media. Go play the game, which seems like one of the coolest ways to be one of the cool kids. And anything else before we cut you loose, guys?
Just thanks for having us on the show. Yeah. Thank you very much to the director of Vibes, Alex Vidal.
Yes, sir.
Love all the support you give us, and we're proud to sponsor your show.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Oh yeah, thanks for being sponsors as well. That's really kicks ass. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
All right, take care. All right, let's we got to do a couple things here. We've got the yes, Mr. Vidal, I agree with you. I was going to suggest that also for the comment of the day, but let's first do the meme of the week. I'm going to wet my whistle here a little bit, and we'll be back in about a minute here. Let's roll it.
And now it's time for the meme of the week.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics. That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working. Yeah, go ahead and clap.
Oh, that laugh. That's the like 3 bottles of wine at the country club, and you really don't want to be in this conversation, but she won't let go of your arm. She's physically holding you there. So, okay. The comment of the week, Mr. Vidal. if we want to announce it here, can we announce it here and now? Ta-da! Joey Two Guns, one of our most loyal viewers, listeners, and advocates. Also a guy who I've gotten to meet in person. I don't meet a ton of you in the flesh, but Joey was kind enough to bring me out to speak at. I don't know if he wants people to know, but so I'm not going to announce where I spoke with unless I get Joey's permission here amid the show. But Joey, please reach out to Alex Vidal at Costly Signals on X, and we will arrange for you to get your pack, and then you can be even cooler than you were before. So, all right, we got about 2 minutes left here. Alex, do we have anything else we need to wrap up? Any questions that are more general or generic that we need to wrap here? There he is. I don't see or hear you, I don't think. There we are.
Comments. Yes.
There we go. Mr. Brett, we love the BSV community so much, especially thank you to Kurt, who's been such a force of good in the world, helping us all learn the key value proposition of BSV. Thank you. Oh, yes. Hooligan. Let's, I'm literally looking at the shirt and being like, man, I like the shirt. The Hooligan where, so Gorilla Pool did a Hooligan collab. Let's see if I can show the back of the shirt. I don't know how well that worked because my neck doesn't go all the way around, but yeah, we got Gorilla Pooligan on the back. We got the fist with the hairy knuckles here. Really excited to collaborate with Hooligan on all this. It's also a scannable NFT. This is a nicely embroidered patch, or actually it's 2 patches, but really digging the shirt as well. It also I like the shirts that accentuate the tightness on the arms here. So no, killer fit, killer shirt. It's like premium printed, nice piece, and it's an NFT asset. It's an inscription. So really good stuff. You can I'll make a post about it on X too, and everybody can become a Gorilla Pooligan on top of all the other cool stuff that we get to do as friends. So everybody, it has been a pleasure. Per usual, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday, I get to hang out with my friends at Hooligan. Let me know I look pretty jacked. Yeah, everybody wants you to think I'm that big fat guy, but turns out if you just keep lifting and keep the diet clean, it all just kind of turns into something else. So thanks for noticing and for the compliments, everybody. Please, again, like, subscribe, hit the alert bell. Thank you so much for joining me. Gives me something to do. Really glad to have all of you as friends and allies and business compadres and all the rest of it. Thank you to Alex Vidal. Thank you to CoinGeek for making all this possible, for sending out all my stuff. And mostly thank you to you, the listener, especially if you subscribe and hit the alert bell. So everybody, go be good to each other. Do good in the world. The whole world might be melting down, but we're going to be just fine as long as you can do a little bit of kumbaya with your friends. So thanks again, everybody. I will see you next week. Goodbye.
The time is now, champions, to war!
Woo!
Begone, little one.